Hi, Alex here from Reveloper.com, and in this episode of our Advanced Tutorials calendar, I am going to show you how you can add a score label to your SpriteKit games. So without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, let's open up our Xcode where we left off, and let us just we have forgot some minor thing in the latest episode when we have added a counter label, and that is to stop this timer. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and take a look at the previous episode in our series. So what we need to do here is stop the timer, because we have already scheduled the timer and it is firing decrement counter every second, but we need to create a new function here that will stop the timer. So let us and what you need to type in here is counter timer dot invalidate, and that is how you stop this timer. Now, where do we need to stop this timer? Well, when we have reached our game over. So we will copy this stop counter here, and as you can tell, we have reached our game over when the counter is less than equal or one than 1. Okay, and we are going to add this here, and that finishes up our counter. Now let's talk about our score, because this is the purpose of this video, not the counter. And we are going to add a score label on the top right corner of our gameplay scene. And let us just go scroll all the way up here, and let's create a new counter here, and it will be a lazy variable, because let us just call this, it will be an SK label node, of course, and we will initialize it like so. So let's type in for label and an SK label node with a font. Let me just use auto completion here, font name, and it will be a bubblegum, and I will just copy and paste for avoiding typos. So the labels font size should be equal to the countdowns label, so it will be a CG float dot universal font size. And if you don't know what a universal font size is, go ahead and take a look at my previous episodes where I tell you what I have constructed. Next up is to set our Z position, and it will be a Z position 2, because it is the same as the countdown labels. Now we need to add our color, and let's add our color here. Let it be of black, skcolor.black. And now we need to set our horizontal alignment mode, and I will just bring it to the right edge of our screen, so this should be dot right. And finally, we are going to give it a default text, because we might have larger numbers here. So we are going to return our label like so. Okay, that takes care of setting up our score label. Now we need to add some variables here for our score. So let's add our score like so. It will be an integer, and we will set it to 0. Okay, now we need to set the first, well, let us just add here not 0, I'm sorry, we will add here, let's say, okay. And the point of this so-called game that we are creating is to, let's say, tap on the screen as many times as you can, and if you have tapped 6 times, then we have a game over with a 1 boolean. So we have won the game. And for now the score should be, well, let's make it this way. The score should be 0 because we are setting the score to be 0, and we are going to say here so we are counting down to 6. Next up is to some sort of decrement the score, so maybe update the score, maybe we want to add to the score, maybe we want to submit from the score. So I will just go down here, and below the decrement counter I will just add a new function, and it will be named update score. And this is a pretty simple function. We are going to select our score label and set the text to be our pretty simple stuff. Okay, now what we need to do is go ahead through the logic. So we want to touch our screen and then decrement a 1. Okay, I am just going to comment out this in the touches began, and I will just say this print statement, so tabbed. And as you remember from my previous episodes, we are going through all of the touches and we are getting the first touch here. And if we do have a touch, then we need to do something, and that is we are going to subtract 1 from our current score. So, and finally we need to update the score by updating the score label. Now we are almost there. One last thing we need to do is in our did move to view, we are going to set the score, the initial score, to be the score start value. So what we need to do is go inside here and set. Now let us just select our iPhone X and build and run and see if we were right. Oh, before we do that, we have forgotten to add our countdown label. So, not our countdown label, our score label. So let us just do that. Two things we need to do here is set the position. Let me just close this. We have a glitch here in the simulator. So we need to set the position. And I will just copy this out from the score label. Equals to, and set the screen width to be on the other side. So 0.94, so at the 94% of our screen width. And finally we need to add our score label to our scene, so add child score label, and that should take care of adding our score label to the scene, and we should see everything work out okay. It's time to test it out. Here we are. And I am just going to select our gameplay. And here we are. Of course, the gameplay countdown label is decrementing, and here is our score. So let us just hit tab again, and as you can see, we have a 5 here. 4, 3, 2, 1. 0, -1. Okay, some things are working and some things are not. First of all, let us just take a look at our score label. First of all, I have noticed that the color is not black, but I will just leave it to white and maybe come back to this issue at a later video. And what we have noticed is that the score is counting down again as this the countdown label was before, to be -1 and so on. Now what we need to do is check here if there is a game over. So if it not is game over, then we need to set -1 to the score and update our score label. Okay, that takes care of the first issue. The second issue was that we have started with 0, 0, not 5. So what we need to do here, and that is why we have added a lazy variable, that we want the score labels text to be our score start value. So I just copy this out and replace this. Let us just build and run and see it in action, and hopefully we are ready to go. Okay, here we have our chart boost. If you don't know what chart boost is, go ahead and take a look at our implementation of this ad network. Okay, now let's just tap here, tap again, 3, 2, 1, and let's see what happens now. 0, -2. Oh, I believe we want to set this is game over logic, because we haven't added our is when the score is less than 1. So we check, and of course we need to fire up our game over function, this one, game over 1, and this time, because we have won, we have achieved our goal. And finally we want to return because we don't want to subtract from the score. Okay, but first of all, let's see if the score goes down to 0 as it is now in the code. If not, we will just return here, but let us just see for now. Okay, here we are inside 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, game over with status equals true. So we still need to go ahead and subtract 1. So what we need to do is change this to 0. Let's build and run again for the last time for this episode, and we will see our score label here. We need to eliminate 3, 2, 1 and 0. One more time. Okay, this wasn't the issue here, so let us just see what was the problem here. Yes, first of all, we need to change the order of our if statements. Okay, let us just build and run now, and let's see if we get a game over with a true value once we hit the 0 score. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, that is a problem. So let us just change this to 0 here. And this is how you debug your code. This is small debugging, but we should get it right now. Yes, correct. So this is how you add a score label to your gameplay scene. Okay, now I can realize that I have forgot to commit my scene, so I will just go ahead and make all of this into the 14th branch. Okay, and we are in the 13th branch, so you will unfortunately miss in the GitHub repo the 14th branch. I will just do that next day. Okay, I will just commit that later on. And one last thing to note here is that we have launched our holiday favorites, and if you just go to redeveloper.com and click on get it before Christmas, because this sale, this huge discount is available only till Christmas, you can go here and grab your offer for the Tribe or Pablo. Well, what is the Tribe and Pablo? Well, the Tribe is a whole business plan for your apps and your app portfolio. So it says transform your ordinary app business into a profit-making machine. It has moreover 40 video tutorials, a whole series. It's called action plans, and you can get it for as low as $99 per month. And I will just go over here briefly about Pablo. If you are not a designer or don't have a designer, or if you pay too much, you consider you are paying too much for a designer for your apps, then you can get unlimited designs for your app at a flat rate of $2.99 per month. Of course, you will get a specialized one-person designer only for yourself. And of course, if you want to purchase both, you can go for the $2.99 per month, which is a huge discount from the original price. Okay, hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friend, and subscribe to our channel to see more videos of me on iOS. Okay, see you in the next one.